Hi guys, 18 Dapper here and welcome to this match preview. It's for the game on Boxing Day. It's Peterborough versus Doncaster Rovers. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to this match preview. If you're an existing subscriber, welcome back. If this video has brought you to the channel, welcome to the channel. Hit that subscribe button for more content. If you are new, this is a format that we go through on match previews. We look at previous meetings between the two teams. We look at the current form in the league. We look at a Doncaster Rovers player. I give my opinion on the one to watch for the opposition, in this case Peterborough, and then me and the family have got a predictions league table, so there's a little update on that, and then my score prediction for the game at the very end. So without further ado, let's get into previous meetings. Peterborough and Donny met each other on many occasions. Rovers coming out on top 15 times, Peterborough coming out on top 18 times, and we've shared the spoils 11 times. Looking back at the last 5 fixtures between the two, Rovers, we're edging it. So 3 draws and 2 wins for Donny. Going back to the 17-18 season in League One, 2 draws, home and away, a 0-0 and a 1-1. And then last season, the 18-19 season, this is where Donny started to edge it. An away draw, 1-1, and then a home victory, 3-1. And then earlier on this season, a home victory, 2-0. Fergie wasn't happy with that, wasn't happy with Peterborough's performance, and openly slated them in the press conferences after the game. So I'm expecting a big change in the way that they approach the game this time round. So can we see a draw or a victory coming for the Rovers? I'm not too sure. Leading me on to current form, this is why I am not too sure. So Doncaster, the last 5 games, 3 draws, 2 defeats in the league. Draw, loss, draw, loss, draw. Hopefully that is not a pattern. Fingers crossed that is not a pattern. Peterborough on the other hand, going back to the 5th of November, that's how long it is to get 5 games in the league at the minute. Very stop-start season. That was their last defeat to Shrewsbury, and then since then they've gone on their own little pattern here: win, draw, in the league. So if you're suspicious and you've got patterns and you can see patterns, that's screaming out a defeat for Donny and a win for Peterborough, just to keep that pattern going. Hopefully we're wrong though. On Saturday, Donny had spells of nice play against Accrington Stanley. We're just lacking creativity and we just seem a bit toothless up top. I think we looked a little more threatening when he went 2 up top with Bingham and Ennis, but as soon as he took Coppinger off, that creativity just disappeared. And for me, we should not be relying on a 38-year-old to create the chances to score, especially with the players in and around him. Don't get me wrong, I think the first team have got potential. They're going to be a very good set of players in the future, but it's just not clicking at the minute. So I'm hoping for a big January, which will give Darren Moore the chance to build a squad, and then I think we can judge him a little bit more fairly than what we can at the minute. I think he's done a very good job with the squad that he was left with in the summer from Grant McCann. On social media, there's a lot of people, or there's a few people saying that he's got a couple of games left. It'll be 10 without a win and stuff like this. It's time for him to go. For me, it's not. He needs that time to build a squad. I think he's a very good coach. Hopefully the backroom staff that he's brought in get the recruitment right in January and we see an impact in the squad and a bit more help and a bit more strength with the squad depth. So when injuries do come along, which inevitably they will, we've got that backup there. And with a better squad depth or a stronger squad depth, you've got that competition for places as well. So I'm reserving judgment until January. I think this season for me is mid-table. Pointless looking up near the top of the table at the minute. Peterborough though, very different story. So currently 4 games without defeat in the league, and that's pushed them up to 2nd place in the league. They've also, it's a positive time for them, through to the 3rd round of the FA Cup, and they face Burnley away. So Could that have their thoughts or their priorities elsewhere? Will the players be thinking about the big FA Cup tie at a Premier League team? Especially at the start of January, it's a chance to put themselves in the shop window. So maybe we could hit them on an off day. Who knows? Moving on to player focus. So I've gone through pretty much all of the starting 11 for the Rovers. So starting to look at the youngsters and the fringe players now. So we're going to start with Louis Jones. No appearances this season, but he's usually third choice. Third choice for his goalkeepers behind Lawler and Dieng. Lawler currently injured, so this has give Louis a chance to be on the bench at the Rovers. He's been recalled from his loan spell at Yeovil. Didn't get a game at Yeovil, unfortunately, but maybe he will get an opportunity. Dieng's playing well at the minute. He's making key saves, keeping us in games, but I think Louis got a future at the Rovers. Done well throughout the ages and throughout the academy. The coaches at Donny clearly see something in him, giving him a professional contract. So hopefully us as fans get to see what the coaches have seen at some point in the future. But if he does get a chance over the next couple of months, he needs to take it with both hands if it does come along. And that is no pun intended with him being a goalkeeper. Moving on to the one to watch for Peterborough, it's Ivan Toney, number 17, 19 appearances, 14 goals, 3 assists. So Ivan is Posh's top scorer and is just threatening absolutely every game. And that's partially due to the quality coming in from Maddison, who was close to being the one to watch on this video. I think Rovers will have to be a defensive unit from back to front. Midfield strikers are going to have to come back and help, and we're going to have to be a solid unit to prevent Peterborough from scoring, because they've got players everywhere. They've got the ability to pop up and pop the ball in the back of the net. But for me, Toney is the main man, the one to watch. Premiership teams circling around him like vultures, and Peterborough have reportedly put a £13 million price tag on his head. So he's decent, very, very decent, one to watch. On to the prediction league. So there's been no movement for absolutely ages on this, and we've finally got something. So what we do is we give score predictions, me and the family, every single league game. If we get the score spot on, we get 3 points. If we get the result or the outcome right but not the score line, we get 1 point. If we get it completely wrong, we get no points. So the league table now looks like this. Max has moved up to the top of the tree on 10 points, joint with me after predicting a 1-1 scoreline on Saturday against Accrington. Me, Chris and my dad both went with Rovers wins, so we all got no points. So a little bit of movement on the table, but there's still a long way to go before the end of the season. And this leads me on to my score prediction. Peterborough doing very, very well in the league at the moment. They're a threat. Rovers, on the other hand, form is stuttering. We're struggling to find any sort of momentum. We're struggling to put together a string of decent performances. I think it'll come. I honestly do think it'll come. But I don't think it'll come on Boxing Day, unfortunately. And with that, my score prediction is a 2-0 defeat. Tough to say, didn't want to say it, but I think Peterborough are going to be too strong for us on the day, and we're going to come back home with absolutely nothing, unfortunately. I'm going to leave that vlog here. If you've enjoyed it, big thumbs up for us please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.